pretty exciting, at least for me, to have been able to go through this process once again from a little different perspective than last time when we hired Ron. We had quite an extensive interview process. We brought the candidates, we brought 5 candidates out. We had 3 interview groups, elected officials, department heads, and at-large community members. And we've spent quite a bit of time going over all of their qualifications. We had 5 very qualified people. We narrowed it down to 3, and then we narrowed it down to 1. We began negotiating with Gary Marks shortly after the interview process. Gary Marks is the Whitefish city manager, and I'll speak for myself. The council can speak for themselves. I found Gary to possess all the skill sets required to do a great job for Ketchum. And then above that, I think that, intuitively I feel that he is going to be a great fit for the city of Ketchum. And certainly what, Sue, you were asking me, what my main reason is, and it just really has to do with the fact that I find him very professional, well-spoken, and, his financial background is really what really pushed him over the top, and the fact that he comes from a resort community. I think what you guys get to know him, you will agree, and so that's where we're at. What we're going to do now is adopt 2 resolutions, one confirming him into the city administrator position, and another ratifying his employment contract. But first I want to offer the council an opportunity to say anything about the process and who we hired, and I seem to usually start with you, Curtis.
Well, I just think that Randy has put it very well. Through all of the interview process, Gary was clearly the superior choice, and he gave us a very high level of comfort, and so we're just absolutely delighted to usher him aboard.
Well, I'll echo those thoughts, and also say for me, when I'm doing interviews, I write down keywords, and I was very, very impressed. The keywords that came out of Gary's mouth during the process were pride, teamwork, building an organization, and these are all real hot buttons for me, and it really did differentiate him from the other candidates.
Larry, thanks. Ron?
I would agree with Larry and Curtis. I'm looking forward to have Gary come here. I think he's going to be a great addition to the city, and the sooner he gets here, the better.
Okay, with that in mind, I'll entertain a motion, resolution number 08071, a resolution of the City of Ketchum allowing the mayor to appoint Gary Marks as the new city administrator.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimous, and I think I'm going to jump in here real quick. Baird is obviously out of town, and we spent quite a bit of time with Baird before he left to be sure that Baird was in lockstep with us, and he is. And so, even though he's not here to vote, we do have Baird's consent to move forward with Gary. So. Anyway, that said, I'm going to go ahead and move on to resolution number 08072, a resolution of the City Council of Ketchum authorizing the mayor to execute an employment contract with Gary Marks for the position of city administrator.
I'll move that.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
2-4, and all opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, and so we've got 2-4, 1 against, and the motion carries. So we'll be signing the resolutions. The next steps will be I'll reach out to Gary. Gary will go ahead and leave his 60-day notice with Whitefish, and we anticipate him being here sometime around the beginning of August as a start date. We will be trying to get him out here as well a couple of times, certainly at least once, to start to make the introductions into our community and our department heads, as well as we'll start pushing him information on our budget and issues like that. We are also very, very fortunate to have Jim Jakewood back from his vacation, and Jim is willing to help any way possible with the transition. And Jim was back at his desk yesterday, and he's going to continue to help us out. As a great, very selfless thing that Jim is doing. Sue?
Could we know the amount of the annual salary?
Yeah, we can say that, Ben. That's all public.
Yes.
Right. That's $153,104.
How does that fit within the range of city administrators for like cities, Aspen, Park City?
Well, if you back out cost of living, I think it's competitive. And what we did was we hired Gary right at the same step and grade that Ron LeBlanc was at. And we have, as you know, cost of living issues here, housing issues, and so we just felt that, you know, bringing Gary in at the higher level and also, you know, helping him with a housing subsidy, that is, you know, that's what we had to do. And I anticipate any city administrator that we'll hire from now on, or any senior management, will probably have to take those same steps in consideration.
So how does the housing subsidy work?
Well, for a time period, and Ben, we can get into this as well, correct?
Yeah, it's compensation, so.
Yeah, the housing subsidy, what we did is we're going to pay Gary a housing subsidy for no more than 5 years, but we are also going to work within certain, whether it's ARCH or the Housing Authority or through the private sector, trying to find some mechanisms within the shared equity concept, and maybe I'll let Larry talk a little bit about shared equity.
Right. We would like to create a program for city employees in general, where the city could sponsor but not administer a program whereby they could get some down payment assistance in the furtherance of home ownership. And there are lots of possibilities with this. This is being done in other communities and whatnot, but it's a kind of situation where the city would not administer the program. The city, in partnership with some other entities, would help fund it, and then it would be administered outside by a contractor, you know, to be named.
So the city might actually provide some funding, like into a pool?
Correct. And then that pool would be matched by some other entities, perhaps by some nonprofit entities, and would be available for qualified city employees. And the idea is that so it takes the form of down payment assistance, and as the employee is gaining equity in their house, part of that equity is being shared with the city. And so upon sale or refinance of the home, or the termination or resignation of the employee, the city gets something back. And this is, you know, this allows the employee to become a real stakeholder, and allows the city to participate on the right foot rather than just being a cash subsidy.
So is there a cash subsidy per month temporarily?
Yes.
Can we know the amount?
Yes.
It's $1,300. And I apologize, but I have a commitment with the Sawtooth Board of Realtors. I have to give a little speech. So anyway, you guys, thank you very much.
Can we move to adjourn?
I don't know if you guys have some more questions.
Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
Thank you, Randy.
There you go.